What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of From the Sidelines. I'm Cullen Mack.
I'm Daniel DiMaggio.
And first things first, please like, subscribe, share.
I would also like to say like, subscribe, and share.
Last week we talked about the Suns getting swept.
Yeah.
And it was really embarrassing for them to get swept by the Timberwolves.
Swept in general, considering their team.
Yeah, so they have this awesome team. So instead of blaming any of their players, they go right to the head coach.
Right to the coach.
They fire Frank Vogel and they replace him with former NBA champion, Bucks head coach, former Atlanta Hawks head coach, former Spurs assistant to the legendary Greg Popovich. Mike Budenholzer going to the Suns. This is a great move, I think. I really was surprised they didn't get him last year after he got released from the Bucks job. He's a great head coach, championship DNA, really loves to shoot that three ball. I think he fits perfect for them.
But like you said, they pivoted right to the coach and they put the blame on him. I don't think a coach changes what a mess that lineup is.
No, definitely not. They have a lot of holes they need to fix this offseason. Speaking of hiring new head coaches, the Charlotte Hornets just hired lead assistant on the Celtics. That is Mr. Charles Lee.
Charles Lee.
Yeah.
Sounds like a law firm.
Charles Lee and Associates.
Charles Lee and Associates.
Headed over to the Hornets.
What do you think about that pick?
Another team they've kind of had a lot of coaching changes and fumbles, juggles these past couple of years. So this is a guy from a great organization, and maybe he can turn things around to help this young Charlotte team figure some stuff out.
I do think that the Hornets need a change of scenery. By change of scenery, they need a whole new city. I don't think it takes a coach. And is LaMelo Ball your franchise player? Why don't you start telling him to wear different shoes first?
Yeah, he needs to get healthy.
I've worn those Melo Ball ones, and they are not comfortable.
2 awards came out this week. One, we all kind of know who it's going to. The MVP went to Nikola Jokic, so congrats,
Did it
Nikola.
go to him, or was it just like, I feel like it's Groundhog Day with him in this MVP. It's every year at this point. And he's like, oh, I won MVP, next. I won the least excited I've ever seen someone win an MVP.
Yeah, he doesn't care. Well, another award, this one had a little bit of controversy. A lot of people always have debate when this guy wins this award. Rudy Gobert becomes the 4-time Defensive Player of the Year.
You mean Rudy Gobert, the guy who started COVID-19?
No, he didn't start COVID-19. He just spread it to a group of reporters in Utah that led to the NBA shutting down.
Let's just say he wasn't very defensive trying to block COVID. No, I'm kidding. 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, to put things into perspective, Kawhi only has 2. I know Gary Payton doesn't have 4. No. Tony Allen probably doesn't have 4.
How many does Mike have?
Not 4.
I mean, 4 is a lot.
4 is a lot.
For a guy...
4 is a lot.
For a guy who the most of his time is spent just kind of camping out in the paint, getting blocks here and there, and I mean, he doesn't really go out to the perimeter to guard that much. He just started doing it a little bit this year, but, I mean, he's at his best when he's just down low, and, I mean, I guess if that's all you do and you're the best at what you do, then congrats on your Defensive Player of the Year award, Mr. Gobert.
I mean, you know how, like, in NFL, the MVPs become a quarterback award?
Yeah.
Defensive Player of the Year's, oddly enough, become a center big man award.
Yeah.
What happened to the Lou Dorts, the guys who will guard your best player? What happened to that being considered for Defensive Player of the Year?
Well, I believe there's only been a couple Defensive Player of the Years that weren't big men in, like, the past, 30 years or something like that.
Wow.
Marcus Smart.
Kawhi Leonard.
I mean, even he's a forward, though. He's still pretty big. He's 6'7".
Right, but he doesn't camp the paint. He guards 1 through 5.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't feel like guards and forwards get
They don't get the love. They don't get the
for
love.
the Defensive Player of the Year.
They don't get the love.
Well, let's get right into the playoffs now. There's a lot of crazy stuff that happened. We're going to start in the West with the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. The Timberwolves had a 2-0 lead. It was looking kind of scary for the Nuggets. Are the reigning champs going to get swept? But no, Nikola Jokic and really Jamal Murray, who I think was the X factor in this last game, came back. They got a pretty dominant win at home. A statement win. After just getting blown out at home, they go to Minnesota and they blow them out in Minnesota, just showing them that they're not giving up. I think we still have a series on our hand here, folks. This is far from over.
I agree. If anyone was saying Timberwolves in 4 after they went up 2, then you're an idiot. In my opinion, this team goes as far as Jamal Murray, like you said. When he's shooting 3 for 18 in Game 2, they're not going to win.
No.
When he's shooting 11 for 21 in Game 3, they're going to win. My other problem with Jamal Murray is he's averaging under 4 assists as a point guard.
I mean, yes, he's averaging under 4 assists, but the creator of this offense is Jokic.
That's so right.
He
That's
decides
so right.
where the ball
That's
goes.
right.
He gets all the assist numbers.
That's right.
He is the point guard. I mean, Jamal is point guard, I think, like, on paper. But
yeah, you're right.
Jokic is the point
That's
guard.
an incredible take. I mean, he just got I got caught in 4K. I was like, why is he averaging 4 assists? And then he gave me the answer.
Like, Jokic is averaging how many?
9.
9. There you go. There's your point guard.
There's your answer.
There's your point guard.
On the other side of things, the Timberwolves, we've got the incredible Anthony Edwards.
Who's playing out of his mind besides Game 3 where they just lost. He's been playing really good.
He's pretty much shooting 60% from the field this series.
That's insane.
Yeah, I know. I'm Mr. Statistician. I know you've noticed recently I'm all numbers, but I'm not all numbers, okay? I am a sense of humor, numbers, and a lot. Yes, I'm all numbers, all right? I'm all numbers, whatever. I'm a damn numbers machine, okay? But you like having it, don't you?
Yeah.
Because when you need a number, you just point to me, and I'll be like, he averaged 30.
It's great. It's like an action figure. Like, I can pull a stat out of you. Like,
Ready,
I pull
ready?
the string. Luka Doncic, points per game.
23 points per game.
It's perfect.
It's pretty easy. Yeah, it's just like that.
Yeah.
So Mavs Thunder. Let's not skip over
Thunder,
that.
I was watching this game today, so we're recording this episode on Saturday. Game 3 just happened.
Yeah.
And
Incredible game. Incredible game.
The Mavs had control, I would say, the majority of the game, maybe the entire game. And PJ Washington had an amazing game. 14 points by the start of the second quarter. He had
29
points.
when it was all said and done.
I mean,
no, 27. 29 the game before.
He's the X factor. They
He's
finally
the X
figured
factor.
out if they want to win this game, if they want to win this series, then PJ Washington has to be on.
Because Luka's injured. He's only averaging 23 on a bum knee, which is still good, but he's forced to pass the ball more. He's forced to because, let's be honest, he doesn't like to pass the ball.
I mean, this is a guy whose playoff average is right there with Michael Jordan's. I think Michael Jordan is like 30. I think Luka's also right there at like 30. So this is a guy that's known for scoring. And for him to only score 23, again, he's injured.
You know what's funny?
He's been getting beat up all series.
That's really quite the coincidence because I bought 2 jerseys this week. The Luka Doncic one and a North Carolina Michael Jordan one. The universe works in weird ways, my friend. That's the West.
That's the West for you.
In my opinion, the West is better than what we're about to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to.
I don't know. The East is still pretty interesting.
It
if
is.
you want to talk about first the Celtics matchup.
Yeah, let's do that one first.
Celtics versus Cavaliers. Everyone thought this was going to be a sweep, maybe a gentleman's sweep. This game is currently happening
at the
right
moment
now. If we could maybe, do we have a score of the game
I got you.
Right now? I mean, the game's only been on for 20 minutes, but the Cavs just tied this series up 1-1. They beat the Celtics at home, which is, I would say, very embarrassing if you're a Celtic. The Celtics currently lead the Cavs right now 22-18 with 3 minutes left in the first quarter. This is going to be a series, and people always talk about Jason Tatum being one of the best players in the league, but I think that Jason Tatum might slightly be overrated. He's on a great team, and he's got great pieces like Jaylen Brown next to him, Derek White, Kristaps Porzingis, who's currently hurt. But, I mean, he talks about himself, and other people talk about him being one of the best players in the league. He's not scoring like one of the best players in the league. He's not playing like one of the best players in the league. Look at Jalen Brunson. Look at Donovan Mitchell. They are their entire team right now. They're putting the entire team on the back because their team will do nothing without them. What is Jason Tatum doing? He's barely taking 20 shots a game.
I think I saw something really odd. I don't know if this speaks on Jason Tatum's character or the man over your left shoulder. All-Star break this year was the first time Jason Tatum met Larry Bird. Jason Tatum's been a Celtic since 2017.
And he just met
Larry
Legend?
What does that say about Larry's influence with the Celtics? Not at all. He must not be allowed on the facility. If he hadn't even met Jason Tatum, the star of the team, maybe Larry doesn't respect Jason. Jason Tatum, a volume scorer. Are you going to have Deuce come in there and score a couple points at this point? Like, what are you doing, bud? Dude, like I said, your Ruffles potato chips are amazing. But the way you're scoring in this series isn't. They're more like the LeBron Ruffles, which smell.
Well, Donovan Mitchell's been playing insane this series, even last series. And finally, this past game, Game 2, Evan Mobley finally got it going. And I think the Cavs might have a chance here to cause some damage to the Celtics.
I hate agreeing with this guy every 5 seconds, but you want to talk about X factors? Evan Mobley.
Evan Mobley, X factor. I still think the Celtics can pull it out. I think it's going to go to 6, though, to be honest with you.
I think it's going to go 7.
The other series in the East, the Pacers taking on the Knicks. I was just talking about Jalen Brunson being the guy on the Knicks. I also want to give some love to Dante DiVincenzo. He's been having a great series.
You want to know how much he's averaging? Pull the string. 29 points a game.
That's great. Dante DiVincenzo is playing insane. You know, he had that big 3 over Philly in the last series, and now it looks like everything he's shooting is going down.
You know what helps is having Josh Hart crash the boards for you to make sure you're going to get that open shot. Yeah. Josh Hart's averaging 15 rebounds a game this series. That's like prime Shaq. Halliburton needs to keep playing the way he is, which is aggressive. I think his floater game's incredible. But with Halliburton, it's like sometimes he looks like Killian Hayes. Sorry, Killian. Hope you're chowing down on some delicious escargot in France right now. And sometimes he looks like Damian Lillard, his rival. There's no in between with this guy. He's got an off switch.
Yeah, he needs to keep that switch on at all times because a couple months ago I was asking, is this guy one of the best point guards?
Maybe is he because he was averaging like 15 assists a game.
Is he the best point guard in the NBA? But now it looks like I thought he was maybe the best point guard in the East.
But now
Jalen Brunson. That's Jalen Brunson.
That's Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson is showing Tyrese Halliburton in this series he's the best point guard in the East.
Well, do you want to end this segment the way that Jalen Brunson's going to end the Pacers season? Just move on. Do you agree that Jalen Brunson's going to end their season, or do you think the Pacers are going to pull the upset?
Knicks in 5.
Okay. I think Knicks in 6. The NFL. We, my friend, have a couple signings to discuss. The Giants signed wide receiver Allen Robinson, veteran wide receiver, and the Chargers signed Bud Dupree, linebacker Bud Dupree. I didn't know he was in the league anymore. That's incredible. Which one of these signings is bigger for their team, in your opinion?
I think the Bud Dupree signing is a bigger deal, in my opinion. Allen Robinson, he just played on the Steelers this past year. I think he's definitely on the decline. Yeah. I think he's kind of there to be a good outlet for a young quarterback and to teach receivers veteran knowledge.
I think it's more important than the Bud Dupree signing because I think anytime you get Daniel Jones a weapon, it's important. I don't think Daniel Jones is that good, but I also don't think they've given him anyone to throw to.
Well, he needs some weapons. Yeah, I mean, they give him a great running back.
Look, I'm Danny Dimes when it comes to from the sidelines. He's Danny Dimes when it comes to the football field. I hope Daniel Jones has a good year because if he doesn't,
he's not going to have a good year.
Well, I think we should wrap up the week with an insane coincidence. The Buffalo Bills signed a undrafted free agent offensive guard named Keaton Bills. That's right. Keaton Bills. His last name's Bills. And what number does he wear? 60. What's significant with the number 60? 1960 was the origin season for the Bills. I mean, if this guy isn't the starting offensive guard by week 5, I guess the universe doesn't work in mysterious ways. How incredible is that? That's such a great coincidence.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of From the Sidelines. I'm Cullen Mack.
I'm Daniel DiMaggio.
And we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Follow, like, subscribe.
Follow, like, subscribe.